Howdy folks, today's soap is going to be from Wild West Shaving, Oakley, and the scent on this one here is oak leaves, acorns, rustic pine, and violets. And the texture, pretty consistent all the way through so far. Pretty soft, in other words, you can press your finger in it without a problem. I'm using a brush that I sent to Frank at Strike Gold Shave. It's a Ever Ready 100, and I've already got some of the soap whipped up here. Got it here in a little bowl. This one here is the glaze is referred to as Starry Night from the shaving place. And we got the usual suspects again. Alum block complete with a rubber band. Mitchell's Humphrey's Witch Hazel, Lilac, excuse me, and I got some English leather here. And the shaver of the day, the reason why I'm doing this shave is because this is part of a pass around from the Shavette World group on Facebook. This is a feather RG. This is what I have to understand is the predecessor to the DX. You can kind of see here how this is laid out, rather smooth. And if you're not aware, this particular blade in here is a super, and that's the kind of blade exposure you have right there, which is going to be a little bit more than if you were using a feather professional. The professional is not quite as wide, so the blade would not extend out quite as far, and that might affect the kind of shave that you're going to be getting. Also, as it goes for design on the scales, it's open all the way through, but it does have a pin in the middle. And in comparison to a certain degree, even though this is an Artist Club SS, in other words, you can kind of tell right here the difference in between the RG or a DX and the SS is this right here. This one here is, the way I understand it, it's made out of stainless steel, the way I understand it. And as it goes for the feather RG, is this part right here is made out of brass, and the coating is different than what's on the SS or the DX. And from what I understand, depending on who you talk to or what they say about it, this is supposed to be easier to clean than the RG. Couldn't tell you one way or the other. In my opinion, they're probably just as quote-unquote difficult or as easy to do. At least the way I clean mine up. But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my mug of warm water, warm up the blade, and go ahead and, I've already put a hot towel to the face, and put some bloom water on my face. I did get it lathered up a while ago, especially up underneath my chin. It lathered up pretty good. Kind of happens down there where the growth goes every which direction. And as it goes for growth, I have a very thin line right through here that I usually have to go in different directions just to be able to get all of it. It's strange growth. At any rate, like I said, this is a pass around from Shavette World and on Facebook. And that group, if you're interested in shavettes, maybe you've already started, I would have to say that's a very supportive group when it comes to shavettes, as well as DEs or single edge as far as that go. We understand. Matter of fact, this was one of the first groups I joined on Facebook when it comes to the shaving community, and we all understand that somebody, usually you don't start out with a shavette. You start somewhere. And sometimes it helps to get in a group that understands shavettes and straight razors and DEs and single edge razors, and get some support, some tips, tricks. And Shavette World, there's a list of things to assist somebody in their quest to learn how to use a Shavette. I usually whip my shaving cream up a little wet, and don't know if you can tell, but this one's wet. In my opinion, it works better with a Shavette to have your lather a little on the wet side. At least it does for me. It's one of those things where your mileage may vary. I have not shaved with an RG or a DX. I understand that it is different. I'm going to find out how different. Hopefully, in other words, there's not going to be any blood. Probably may not be a whole lot of talking throughout my strokes and my passes. In other words, going to try to concentrate on my shaving. I should mention that this Feather Super is on its first use. I said there wasn't going to be much talking. If I had to choose, I have not, once again, I haven't shaved with the DX, but I'm assuming it's about the same weight as the SS. And if I had to choose in between this one and the DX, I'd probably, if I can find one of these at a reasonable price, I'd choose one of these because I prefer the weight. Because with this being brass, it does have some weight to it. Yeah, I can tell the difference in between the SS and the RG. Finding information on this was not an easy task. In other words, I didn't find a whole lot. And if I found out anything, even nowadays, where you can find somebody that has these in stock, I think the cheapest I found was $180. And the one I was looking at, I think it had a pink scale. With my shaving, I guess you might say, method is a tad bit different than what you may see on some others, in that you may see some short strokes, and I have found that typically longer, smoother ones work okay with the grain for me, but sometimes against the grain, that's where the short strokes seem to be a bit more comfortable for me. And since I have those creases or folds right here in my neck, excuse me, I do try to work at them at an angle, so that way my blade doesn't get caught on one of the creases. It just works better for me. Like I say, your mileage may vary. Yeah, I'm liking this one. I like the weight of this. And it does seem to be the consensus also that the in between the SS and either an RG or a DX, that the learning curve might be easier with an SS as opposed to an RG or an DX. To go to the right website, these the prices have dropped on the feathers. They're not quite as expensive. Depending on model, of course. Pretty smooth. I joined Shavette World. Oh, I think I'm trying to remember. It hadn't been up and running very long. and how I discovered it. It was by the way of the Wet Shavers Roundtable that Douglas has, and I just happened to catch Ronnie on there. And I had already been looking at Shavettes. I was looking at Shavettes from the get-go when I first started wet shaving. Before I even got a DE, I was looking at a Shavette. Shavette was cheaper than a straight razor, and with the replaceable blades, I figured, well, that would be easier for me, so that way I'm not learning how to strop or hone a blade. Now I do dabble with a straight razor now from time to time, and I have gotten better with my stropping. In the beginning I sucked. I round the edge. Makes for a painful shave. There is a learning curve with both a straight razor and a Shavette. Some do prefer a feather. I think of the other one's Kai. I think that's how you pronounce it. Both of them from Japan. I think the Kai are far more expensive. I haven't found a reasonably priced one of those. The one I've seen is Camosaurus style. It's just a beautiful razor. Shave, man, it looks great. I think the price I saw was like $230 or something like that. Yeah, no. I get a good shave out of my Feather SS Camosaurus style as it is. I'm not spending that much money on one. I do have my limits, in other words. That's the reason why I wait forever on the eBay. So I set my price, and that's all I'm willing to pay. Every once in a while I'll get lucky and I finally win a bid and get the razor I want. I think that has a lot to do with just timing. So, in other words, one of my secrets is on the holidays. That's the best time to get some. Or a weekend where a lot of people's going to be busy, and that's when the bid is going to be up. That's a good time. I think my best one was, I guess you might say my best winning. Matter of fact, the brush that you just seen, I've had for a while before I sent it to Frank. And I got it, I think, right along Black Friday. So you can see where people were busy. Yeah, I've had that one for a moment. As well as two others. Actually, I got more. I just haven't sent them to Frank just yet. He did a really good job on it. One of the only rubber set I sent him. During shipping to him, yes, something landed on it. Anyhow, they broke off a chip of the brush, and he was kind enough to fix it for me. Frank does do good work. I have a posting on Instagram, as well as on Google Plus, on the Artisan Shaving group on Google Plus, of the 3 brushes. And if you could have seen the double duck, it was not in good shape. I mean, he did a great job on it. Yeah, whoever was the previous owners was not kind to that poor brush. it was part of a lot of many different shaving items. With my glasses, I have bifocals, and I can tell you right now, certain angles, it's my best guess what I'm doing. Back over here, in other words, it gets rather blurry. But I've been able to keep all my ears, both of them, and not only that, no cuts back there so far ever. No, I guess you might say I know my limits and know where to stop. If you ever looked at some of those straight razors, especially those ones that are like 7/8 or an 8/8, big old chompers, those things look like they could take your ear off. It's kind of funny. I wasn't near as nervous with a straight razor as I was with a hair shaper. It's more or less the same thing. Your blade's, seriously exposed. And for whatever reason, I had a tough time bringing myself using a hair shaper. It's kind of odd about the human nature, what people get very concerned about, and then something close to being the same thing and have a much different opinion or reaction to it. Anymore, it's more along the lines of cartridges. Yeah, don't think I could ever. I've been tempted just to try one, and the reason why I've been tempted to try one again, because it's been a good number of years since I've used one. Not only that, what it is a part of a large lot that I won on eBay. I got a stand, and it came with the razor. No brush, but it was Old Spice. So the handle, the razor handle is Old Spice. The stand is Old Spice. But the stand, it does not accommodate, for the most part. Let's say got a little bit of stinging back over here, which is expected. First time shaving with it, it'd take a time or two to for me to get the angle down right. That, and with the weight, in my opinion, it's a lot like a DE. You need to let the weight of the razor do its work. And I prefer the heavier Shavettes. Now, you can, not saying you can't learn with a lighter one. It's just that it's just much different. It is a lot different with the light one versus the heavyweight. And to me, it was just easier to learn with one that was heavier as opposed to one that was lighter. But over time, I've learned how to shave with both of them. Pretty decent shave though, especially for the first time using it. Got some Humphreys here. And also, sometimes I do it in my videos, but they do get a little bit longer, is the how I do my shave. In other words, typically in between my alum block and my witch hazel, what I'm doing is I'm already rinsing out the bowl and the brush, waiting a little while in between the alum block and the witch hazel. And in other words, I'm doing my cleanup as I'm excuse me, as I go through my shave, English leather. And so my shave isn't exactly like it would be if I was not on video, but it makes for a long video, and I'm sure you're not interested in hearing the water run and me working on the brush, getting it cleaned up, the bowl. And yes, English leather is an alcohol-based aftershave, and I definitely could feel it today. Yeah, I needed to use it a few more times before I get real proficient at it, but I'm not bleeding and I got my ears, so I'm good to go. I like English leather. know it's not an artisan, but some of the store-bought ones, in other words, I really do enjoy. Clubman. Thought it was appropriate for Annie Oakley. Once again, I was shaving with a Feather RG. In my opinion, it's a really nice shaver. I think I'm going to start keeping my eye out a little bit more so for one of these. I didn't realize that one of these was such an animal until Michael started his pass around in the Shavette World group on Facebook. So if you're interested in one of these, in a Shavette, be a good place to stop by. Been accused of being the great enabler. I really enjoy shaving now. I used to really hated it, but yeah, I've had a good time shaving today. Hope everybody's safe. Smooth shaves to you.